Hello world, welcome to another installment of Fractal Radio, the official podcast of the Fractal Journal, or should I say vlog, because it's not really a podcast, but it follows a podcast format. Anyway, today I'm going to address some of this generational goofiness that I keep hearing about, which is why this is titled Cheesy as XYZ. I think it's kind of telling that, first of all, we started off with boomers booming, and then we had Generation X, very mysterious, and then I guess the millennials or Generation Y, and now we have Generation Z, which according to a recent live stream that I saw, I believe on the Sargon of Akkad channel, is taking off, and there's a renaissance of work ethic. And how is this renaissance of work ethic coming about, might you ask? Well, it's coming about because they're using social media to run these little businesses, I guess by affiliate marketing or some such thing. And anyway, they have to generate views. So basically, Generation Z is rediscovering work ethic through attention whoring on social media, something that was pioneered in large part by the most reviled generation as of yet, the millennials, who get a really bad rap for a lot of things, but honestly are really a very unique generation because they're between the 90s with the development of the internet and the early aughts and onward, and so are part and parcel of the development of that very technology that everyone is now saying is revolutionizing everything. So to me, all of this is very weird and involves all of the really annoying Jordan Peter-esque preening that is an insidious problem, because Jordan Peterson makes a lot of great points. He's an intelligent man, and I'm only using his name because he represents this phenomenon, and I call it the top boy phenomenon. You know, when you were younger, you had this feeling inside of you, I'm now a big kid. And so you were telling all the other kids that they need to grow up and be like you if you were doing the chores or doing whatever was proper. Well, that's kind of a Jordan Peter-esque preening that I'm talking about, that in that environment gets pushed forward, and it's also the arbitrary division of, that's a millennial, that's a Gen Z, that's a boomer. And I'm not even necessarily saying he outright supports this, but I feel that it's an after effect of his line of thinking, which in this alternative media community is, well, all the way to the forefront, because it's easy to focus on this low-hanging fruit of people's faux pas through a generational lens of people's faults and shortcomings. Like, well, millennials are these lazy snowflakes that are hard to get along with and don't work properly and are always buried in their phones. Well, okay, yeah, millennials live in the context of the modern age and therefore have behaviors associated with the problems of the modern age. Sorry, I don't get it. Like, first of all, and here's the other part. I'm not even trying to be defensive because I am a millennial, because honestly, it's difficult for me to even say that I am. I was born in Moscow, Russia, in 1989, and yes, that is a friggin' year range of millennialism, but I was born in a completely different context. I would say that all the character attributes that are thrust upon millennials don't necessarily exist in a place like Russia, or especially a bigger example would be someplace like China, like where people's lives are still relatively hard in a lot of parts of those countries, even though they're developing. So, you know, that's my little vlog for the day, because I've been having all these thoughts go around my brain, and finally, I'm just going to throw it out there. It's not the most interesting thing in the world, but it bears stating, so thanks for stopping by. More content to come soon. Now that I've gotten the fleas out of my study, yeah, my dog had a bad case of fleas, and I've been able to get in here, which among my work schedule, etc., is why my posting has been so sparse. So if you enjoy this content, visit www.fractaljournal.com for stories, ideas, and more. A bunch of free content. So far, I don't have anything on my Patreon really for patrons, but I will be doing that in the near future. And yeah, there we go. Take care, everybody. Goodbye. Oh, this is what I always forget when I make takes of this video. Before I go, like a tard. X, Y, and Z. What kind of self-involved apocalyptic thing is this? Why is it that after the boomers, it became Generation X, and then it became Generation Z? I guess because logically Z follows on X, but I feel that this is ridiculous. Like, we're living in the last days, and therefore we're all calling ourselves by these end of the alphabet letterings. It's very telling of the sort of mindset that we're all in. It really is. So on that note, stop thinking apocalyptically and start living day to day. Even if you're of a religious mindset, most religious texts, most religious people that aren't insane are going to tell you Jesus didn't say to friggin' freak out about shit. So stop thinking you're living in the end times, and even if you're not religious, you still got that friggin' eschatology going, because that's why we have something like Generation XYZ, and it just sucks the energy out of everything. Goodbye.